3, 2, 1.
Kế hoạch của mình đã được tiến hành.
Yay, let's discover the ancient Egypt with us.
I've got a story to tell, and it might take a while. 4,000 years ago, down by the banks of the Nile, some people settled there. The land was green and fertile, not like the desert where it's hard to maintain a lifestyle.
The ancient Egyptian civilization lasted for over 3,000 years and became one of the most powerful and iconic civilizations in history. Ancient Egypt's empire stretched as far north as modern-day Syria and as far south as today's Sudan, but long before it was an empire, ancient Egypt was a series of small, independent city-states that bloomed along North Africa's Nile River. The city-states were divided into two regions and named according to the flow of the Nile. Upper Egypt in the south, which was upstream, and Lower Egypt in the north, which was downstream. This civilization can be divided into three major periods of prosperity called the Old Middle and New Kingdoms, and two periods of instability in between called the First and Second Intermediate periods.
Who was the first king?
King Menes. He is the first pharaoh who unified Egypt. The most interesting thing you have to know in ancient Egypt is religion played an important part in the ancient Egyptians' life. They worshipped many gods as many as 700 depending on the pharaoh. The religion of ancient Egypt lasted for more than 3,000 years and was polytheistic, meaning there were a multitude of deities who were believed to reside within and control the forces of nature.
It's easy to get confused when trying to identify the Egyptian gods. There is a large number of them and they are not always depicted the same way. Let's discover some famous gods.
Ra, he is the god of the sun and has a heavy heart. Amun is the king of the gods and usually has the head of a human. Anubis is the god of mummification and has the head of a dog or a jackal. Thoth is the god of writing and wisdom and usually has the head of an ibis. Bas or Bastet had the head of a cat who was the goddess of war but over time became known as the goddess of protection, joy, dance, music, family, and love.
Not all the gods were good.
Set is the god of chaos, desert, storms, and war. Set's brothers Osiris is the ruler of the underworld and the god of dying vegetation. He usually depicted as a mummy with green skin holding a scepter and wearing a white crown. Egyptians saw the earth as flat land, the god Jeb, over which are the sky god did not. They were separated by Zu, the god of air. Underneath the earth was a parallel underworld and under sky, and beyond the skies lay Nu, the chaos before creation. The earth was a mysterious era associated with death and rebirth, and each day Ra passed through the earth after traveling over the earth during the day. In ancient Egypt, the afterlife was a certainty. When you died, your soul could go to another plane, leaving the body behind, and you could hope for a merciful judgment and admittance into eternal life in paradise, the field of dreams, which was an idealized version of one's life on earth. The principle of math, so important in life, was also important after death. When you died, your soul could travel to the heart of the truth and could make the negative confession. All the sins you did not commit in front of Osiris, Thoth, Anubis, and the 42 judges. Then your heart was weighed on the scales of justice against the white feather of truth, the feather of man. If the heart was lighter, you continued to the field of peace. But if it was heavier, it was thrown to the floor and devoured by the monster Ammon. The ancient Egyptians believed in the resurrection of the body and life everlasting. This belief was rooted in what they observed each day. The sun fell into the western horizon each evening and was reborn the next morning in the east. New life sprouted from branches planted in the earth, and the moon waxed and waned. As long as order was maintained, everything was highly dependable, and life after death could be achieved provided certain conditions were met. For example, the body had to be preserved through mummification and given a properly furnished tomb with everything needed for life in the afterworld. Have you ever wondered that? How could they make mummies? There are 7 steps to make an ancient Egyptian mummy. You start by washing the body, then you remove the organs. Fill the body with stuffing and soak an insert to dry it out. After 40 days of drying, the stuffing is removed and the body is wrapped in linen strips covered in a shroud. Each organ was put in its own jar.
Their name is kind of pictures.
But except for the heart, Egyptians believed it was the seat of the soul, so it was left inside the body.
When I'm mummified, I'll live forever. My heart will weigh lighter than a feather, yeah. They'll drain my brain out, then they'll put my organs in canopic jars. They'll leave food for my cat to eat. And my boss personality must recognize my body, that's why they'll embalm me. Osiris will accept my soul down into what? I obeyed the cosmic order of my aunt. I honored the great passaget, so I'll avoid a second death. Do it or on me will eat your lead heart.
Shoes, the air god that loots, the moisture god is Nut, and Geber, Sky, and Earth, their kids are Nebet, Hoot, Set, Osiris, Isis, and Horus the Elder.
Oh yeah, Ra, he's our sun and light, he's our creator god. He controls the seasons and he grows our crops. His eye is a goddess and his tears made humans. Seth, Ra, Nitso, Bekoris the younger, elder Hathor, Imhotep, Pastet, Keptet, Nutshunut, and Ubisos, Cyrus, Sekhmet, Kunum, Nebedut, Thysisto. Sekhmet's lethal, taking all her vengeance out upon the people. Imhotep's been deified but once was real. Set cut up Osiris, he's a source of evil.
Oh, thankfully poor Isis put her husband back together. Before Osiris went under, she conceived Horus the younger.
Not the elder, he's the younger baby.
He defeated Seth, now he's our god of war and battle. The question that we have to ask now, is Seth an Arvad, fox or jackal?
Our gods can be portrayed as combos of human forms and animals. If they're like snakes or scoundrels, if they have horns, they're powerful. Many gods are similar to others like a tum-tum. He's like Pata or Amun-Ra in the New Kingdom. Yes, over time our gods would absorb into one another. Many villages that miss it seem in conflict with each other. Is that or the wife of Ra's daughter or his mommy? Or is it mom that should be my mommy? I see a funerary boat bringing me to Sito. He is writing down all the deeds of the sea souls. Magic spells will take ya down to see his face. Got a baboon or an ibis bird for a cabeza. I see a funerary boat bringing me to Sito. He is writing down all the deeds of the sea souls. Get some amulets and a book of the dead, then you will have some underworld journey protection. Oh yeah. Seth Ranitso Bekor is the younger elder Hathor Imho. Tepas takip tepnut shunur en yubisos. Cyrus akmet kuno nevet hutai sisto. Cats are sacred, vested is their patron, and mummification is handled by Anubis. He uses nature. So big is a crocodile, but sets more dangerous. Ayuda, oh, thankfully poor Isis put her husband back together. Before Osiris went under, she conceived Horus the younger. Not the elder, he's the younger baby. He defeated Seth, now he's our god of war and battle. He's incarnated as our pharaoh, but the kid is great to me now. Death so sweet, no, you'll be granted entrance to the field of reeds. Opening up your mouth, our last ceremony. Go take your great goods with you to eternity. Go. I see a funerary boat bringing me to Sito. He is writing down all the deeds of the sea souls. You'll be safe in your sarcophagus. We'll bury you in the necropolis. I see a funerary boat bringing me to Sito. He is writing down all the deeds of the sea souls. You cannot stop our pyramid. Thankfully you can afford it. Death so sweet, no,